straight away. It's unbelievable. Oh, that's appropriate. It's alright to film now?
Yes.
Thanks.
Very progress. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this is basically base camp for the night. There's no eating and drinking in the vaults, but you can eat and drink up here. As you can see, we've got team coffee making facilities here. The kettle is in the kitchen because the cord isn't long enough to stretch out here. So it's just right here, you can use that. Normally we have paper cups. Somebody other than me has decided we will have these cups today. So basically you're just going to have to keep an eye on your own cup and reuse it rather than having paper cups that we throw away. I don't know, the boss is always trying to get greener, so maybe that's part of that. I don't know. So, welcome to Mercat Tours and the Friday the 13th vigil.
Don't lucky night.
Wave going underground at Friday the 13th. So before we begin, well, when we begin, what we'll probably do is I'll do a tour of the vaults that will cover the history of the vaults. I don't tend to talk about the ghosts in that section because, of course, generally people like to discover the ghosts themselves. They don't want to be led or anything. So I won't talk about the ghosts, but I will talk about the history of the vaults. Before that, I will tell you the dreaded health and safety instructions.
God damn it.
Yes, quake in your boots, my friends. And we'll give you a chance to nip to the loo as well. So, speaking of the loo, the first part of the health and safety instructions, where the toilets are. We don't expect you to go 5 hours without going to the toilet, don't worry. As you go upstairs, as you turn right, the first door you come to with a sort of keypad on it, that's the staff room. Don't go to the toilet in there, even if you can get in. The next one along, that's the men's. The last one is the women's toilets. So it's very simple to get to them. There will be cigarette breaks now and then. Jimmy insists on it. I'm not that bothered, but he insists on it. So I will lead people out because you can't get back in without me. So I will lead people out for their cigarette breaks and during the coffee and tea breaks. Okay? Once you go down the stairs, the floor remains uneven throughout. Do watch your feet whenever we are walking. Should you have the misfortune of being quite tall, you look quite tall even though you're sitting down, yes. You may also want to watch your head, as some of the vaulted ceilings can be quite low. How are you going to watch your feet and your head at the same time? I've no idea. I'm quite a short man myself, it's never been a problem for me. You're going to have to work it out for yourselves. As I've already covered, no eating, drinking or smoking in the vaults. No smoking because it's a place of work, so it's not allowed, you have to go outside for that. No eating or drinking because we don't have a rodent problem down there, and we'd like it to stay that way. If people see something skittering across the darkness, we want it to be spooky rather than a rat. So we don't want people dropping crumbs and sweet drinks and letting them in. Flash photography is of course allowed, but it is generally good etiquette on a vigil to call flash before you take a picture, because though the tour round will be with candlelight and some electric light, once we begin the vigil proper, we will put out all the lights.
What?
It will be quite dark, and you will be blinding people if you don't want them at the flash.
I don't like the sound of that.
We say that on our tours, videoing isn't allowed, because the stories are copyright to us. But of course, in this because it's a vigil, you can film what's going on, because I'm not telling you stories, you're experiencing what's going on, so do feel free to film as well. The fire exits, obviously, there's the exit up here. There's also an exit at the very back of the vault. Please don't use that unless some eldritch flame is burning the stone of the vaults. To be honest, as you can tell, I'm not terribly convinced we need a fire exit in the vaults, but yeah, don't use that back exit because it leads out into the Nidri Street. It goes through Old Riki's premises, it goes through Banshee Labyrinth, it leads out into the streets, but it really should only be used in emergency. If anything isn't an emergency, use the exit up here. I think that's about everything. So, well, I'll give you a moment to nip to loo if you want to, get au fait with the place up here, and then I'll lead everyone down and do the history.